Black Hog Brewing Company. Jack Nicholson, Peter Fonda, and Dennis Hopper made a movie about a man that went looking for America and couldn't find it anywhere. Easy Ryeda IPA gets your motor running but won't burn you out. We chop down the ABV so you can cruise on it all day long. Take it easy, have a few, and remember it's all about freedom, man.
Take it
Ride
easy.
responsibly. Drink to the hog. That's who we drink to. A heritage breed, Brookshire pig to be exact. It's our personal favorite, and it's the spirit behind our unique, delicious beer. Cheers.
Welcome back to the Tapping Out Show. My name is Jeremy. This is Matt, and we're going to do Black Hog's Easy Ryeda. Obviously, rye is a big part of this because that's part of the name, but
Yeah.
obviously it's a pretty heavy ingredient. This is an homage to the movie Easy Rider. For all you youngsters that don't know anything about this movie,
Great American movie. Educate yourself. I mean, we're pretty old, and this is definitely a couple generations off of us. So it's definitely I mean, I think it was the movie was in the '60s, but you definitely got to see the movie if you haven't. Definitely one of Jack Nicholson's best, and Dennis Hopper and Peter Fonda are always good as well. But
not to name the other names.
This is another beer that I got from a brother on the East Coast. Traded him some West Coast IPAs.
Look, this is
actually just sent him some West Coast IPAs, and he was nice enough to send us some East Coast IPAs.
I think these guys are in Oxford, Connecticut.
I'm pretty sure they're Connecticut.
Oxford, Connecticut.
Yeah.
Hey, I remembered something.
Can't get much more East Coast than Connecticut, right?
So here's the thing: for a rye IPA, this is actually pretty light.
For a rye PA?
Rye PA, yeah, a rye PA. It's actually pretty light. It's actually kind of hazy, which is kind of weird because a lot of the East Coast IPAs are starting to kind of do that.
It's got a good smell to it.
It's weird too because it's got a little bit of a citrus smell, but you know what's funny is you can kind of smell the rye to it.
Did we get the? I know. So it's a 5.5. I know they mentioned that's the whole easy ride thing too.
Right.
It's not a
Lower alcohol.
Yeah, lower alcohol. It's a something you can sip on for days.
I wouldn't sip on it for days, but
Well, at 5.5, most Americans drink 5.5 beer.
so I mean, it's got a decent amount of carbonation to it. It's not see-through. It's got a little bit of a gold color. It is an IPA. Like I said, you can kind of smell the rye front end, but there's still a little bit of a citrus, hoppy kind of smell to it too. So that's kind of inviting.
Yeah, the rye smell seems pretty strong. You do catch the citrus hoppiness on the back end.
So cheers.
Cheers.
That's weird. Not in a bad way, but I like. Okay, hold on.
Yeah. Definitely different than any IPAs. It's definitely a rye PA.
Oh yeah, no, there's a lot of rye.
So I mean, it's a rye PA. I think it's probably good they went light on the alcohol in this. You catch a lot of rye and bitterness to it. So if you like the bitter IPAs, you like rye PAs. Definitely good. But I really like about this is definitely has a different taste to it.
Oh yeah.
The
take on it's great. I agree. So what I'm feeling is this, and I'm going to piggyback on what he said is that the rye content comes full force. It's got a nice bitterness to it, but not like your typical IPA bitter.
Not your New England kind of bitter.
Not that either, too. That's kind of a cool concept. But if this was any higher in alcohol content, or if it had any more hops in it,
or rye.
No, I mean, if they just let the rye as it is, with the rye content that it is now, this would be pungent. I don't know how else to put that.
Yeah.
Like, this would be
Might be too
difficult.
much, yeah.
This would be very difficult to drink because with the alcohol content, if anybody knows, if any of you beer connoisseurs know, it definitely changes the concept, the taste, the drinkability of an alcohol product, and it changes the flavors of the ingredients that you put in because of the fermentation.
Yeah.
Now, if you would have put more hops into this, especially because New England's very famous, or I shouldn't say it's New England, it's not a New England. East Coast IPAs are very famous for putting in things like Galaxy hops and other things that bring a very bitter ending to it. Not a very citrusy ending to it. Not saying that none of them do. I'm just saying in general, like West Coast, you get a more of a citrus taste, and that's just how West Coast IPAs are.
Yeah.
All white IPAs are dry, but this one has a dry rye taste to it. And if you would have added anything else to make that dryness or bitterness stronger, it would probably be a little bit harder to drink in general, and it would not be sessionable. It would not be easy to drink. The 5.5 would never make any sense.
Yeah, exactly. That's what kind of I was saying is, if you made this thing too strong, then it might be too hard to handle.
I don't hate
it. Definitely has a different taste to it, and it's like I would say it's more bitter than a lot of the rye PAs that we've had. It's more rye than the ones we've had. I mean, you could smell the rye. I mean, even rye vodkas. I've learned to kind of smell the rye in it, but that's 80 proof. You know what I mean? So this is definitely a flavor country kind of beer. Definitely a beer connoisseurs kind of beer and I definitely see where they're going with the Easy Rider. The name makes more sense to me than it did before, because it's easy. It's got a ton of rye in it, but you can still pound a bunch of them without worrying about if you can ride your bike anymore.
You know what? And let's end it on that note. This beer, for what it is, and the name says it all. It's easy to drink. It's got a high rye content. You can taste it. It almost takes over the hop content.
It does. It does.
Where I wouldn't even really consider this an IPA. I agree with Matt. I would call it a rye PA. It
is a rye PA all day. Yeah.
So 1 out of 5, 5 being the highest. What would you give this?
I'm cruising in the 4% range. That's kind of what I'm thinking, somewhere around there. What do you think?
I was thinking about 3.75. I'll go up to 4 because it's a good beer. I could drink this. Like, this is something that I could see in a cooler somewhere. Like,
yeah, and I mean, it really depends on your flavor palette if this is going to be your favorite beer or not. I give it a 4% rating because it's a good beer and it's different. But, I say this a lot, sometimes I sound like an asshole. Sometimes when you try to be different, you're trying too hard to be different, and it just doesn't work out. I think this, and especially the name, like Easy Ryeda, totally makes sense when you drink it, because, if you can taste the rye in it, it's easy to drink, but it's rye. There's a lot of rye flavor to it. But it's really clean. It's a really clean beer. It's brewed well.
I completely agree. So we're actually going to go 4 out of 5 from the Tapping Out Show. Besides that, if you want to hit us up, it is going to be info@tappingoutshow.com. That's our email. And Tapping Out Show, all one word, is for social media. If you put it into a search engine, you will find us. We're going to finish these out. You guys have a good night.